Please rise for a flag salute, a moment of silence. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Review and the Star Ledger published a notice, and it was also amended and published accordingly, posted on the municipal bulletin board, and should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Spiller.
Here.
Councilman Ficarra. Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilwoman Drum.
Here.
Councilman Patel.
Here.
Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilman Bauer.
Here.
Vice President Small.
Here.
And President De Jesus. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from November 10th, 2020?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. This evening, we're going to begin with second reading ordinances. We're going to take letters A, B, and C by consent. They're all bond ordinances. The first one is a bond ordinance undertaking various improvements at the club at Woodbridge, the amount of $990,000. The second is a bond ordinance authorizing the making of various sanitary sewer improvements and acquisition of new equipment. That is in the amount of $2,219,500. And letter C is a bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new additional replacement equipment in the amount of $12,647,110. That said, can I get a motion to take up letters A, B, and C, second and third readings, and the public hearing to be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letters A, B, and C, A, B, and C only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter D is an ordinance amending Chapter 7, which is our traffic section of our revised ordinances, and this is to change the intersection of Colonia Boulevard at Bromwell Road to a stop intersection. Could I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We will take E, F, G, H, I, and J by consent. First reading ordinances. Could I get a motion that these ordinances be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on November 27, 2020, with notice of public hearing to be held on December 15th, 2020 at 6 p.m.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolutions also by consent 1 through 26, please. I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? 1 through 26. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
At this time, we'll go into open meeting for our public comment. Anyone wishing to speak will be recognized and provided up to 5 minutes. Provide your name and part of the township you're residing.
Any comments from the public this evening?
I've been away for a little while and out of the loop, but I do know that the club is proceeding as a for-profit enterprise. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah.
And if it does not turn a profit, like most private enterprises, if it's not profitable, they go out of business or they sell. What are the options for Woodbridge if it becomes a losing proposition?
Mr. Sinaluka?
There are ways that we can cut costs that would keep it under. It's under a rec utility. The rec utility has to be self-liquidating at the end of the year, so we can adjust that through employee salaries and other investments that we've done there.
So you can cut costs to try to salvage it. And employees would take the cost-cutting measures and cut their salaries and still be willing to serve the needs of the club? In other words, you can only cut costs to some point where you start losing employees and it becomes a losing proposition. Again, I say, what would happen if it got to that point?
Well,
And the taxpayers are somewhat on the hook with all the bonding that's going on.
That's speculation at this point. The club nor the WCC are not in question as far as financials are concerned.
Okay. But there, I mean, it should be, with all the millions that are going into the club, I would think you would anticipate, you know, what happens, especially in COVID situation. You know, most small gyms aren't able to even stay open. I mean,
So-
the timing is kind of lousy, but I'm just wondering as a taxpayer if I'm going to be on the hook for, you know, good money after bad, or bad money after good, so to speak. Is that something you guys have considered?
So, Council President, that's one of the reasons why we okayed the ice rink. The ice rink is not a gym. It is also a for-profit center that generates quite a considerable sum of money that will help pay back those bonding ordinances that we put forth.
Do they do social distancing when they're doing the ice hockey?
So yes, they do. Right now, ice hockey is up and running and has been for a long time. I personally sit with the AAHA, and we visit with the mayors and the governor's council often, and make sure we're following the guidelines.
Okay.
That's a sidebar from the business administrator's position.
Okay. Last question, I think maybe Howie would know, actually everyone probably knows, but near Superfresh in Hope Lawn, there's a rather sizable warehouse going up. Do we know the company's name, and there's going to be a lot more truck traffic on New Brunswick Avenue as a result?
At this time, they don't have it leased out yet, so at this time, we don't know who's going in there.
I see, but presumably warehouse will bring in a lot of truck traffic.
Well, it depends. We don't know who's actually going into the warehouse yet, so we can't determine that.
Right, and if
There
no
is,
one-
they are modifying the intersection of Pennsylvania Avenue, New Brunswick Avenue to put a traffic light in.
Uh-huh.
One good thing, it's always great to bring business into our community, and one good thing about where it is, it's every major highway is in that general vicinity. So I think if there's any kind of truck traffic, it's got to be minimal, less than a quarter mile. They'll be on Route 9 where they can access the Turnpike Parkway, Route 9, 440. So I think it's not really be a problem over there at this time.
So the success of that warehouse would be to the detriment of the people who have to live there, even
Well,
with the...
like I said, at this time, we don't know who's going in there.
Well,
But if it is a warehouse, most warehouses, they come in, they take their load and they're gone all day, right? And they come back at the end of the day.
Mhm.
So I think it's not really going to be detrimental to the community at this time.
That's a good thought. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Are there any other comments this evening?
Good evening, everybody. John Retarik, Woodbridge. On the same subject about the club, back before the Woodbridge Community Center was opened up, of course, there was the Mr. Chung and Mr. D'Angelo. They wanted to open a community center there, you call it. At that time, the company was going bankrupt, and they went to Citibank because they had the red herring on it. And when they're giving it the prospectus, what they're going to do with it, to build an ice skating rink, because they had another one in Long Island, I believe. And they were told by the Citibank, there's no way anybody can make money on the ice skating rink except if you have a 3,000 or 4,000 stands where the people can watch the people playing hockey. So there's no money on ice skating rink. If you look at yourself, you will make profit if you do not pay the bills, so to speak, if the community is going to pay the bills. So I don't see how you're going to make an ice skating rink, because there's so many hours you only need a day and you charge so much. And I understand a lot of those schools, a lot of local schools, they don't pay much. Some people probably don't pay nothing at all. So the thing is, to making money, I don't believe it. It's a money-making proposition. That's all I want to say about it. Another thing, but kind of a less meeting, and I got to get off my chest. Mr. Anderson was talking about a Colonia game, play football, and Woodbridge High School play football. How the Woodbridge High School beat Colonia, beat 35-0. And that was kind of impressive. It was very rude. You can see he was rooting for Woodbridge, although he's a councilman at large. Colonia is Woodbridge too. But then A couple of days later, I met a man that was watching the game, and he said how Colonia only had 13 players playing the game. They play offense and defense, only 2 spare players. Personally, I think it was probably very unprofessional even to play the game with only 13 players, because it's not for health of the children, because children put it best, and I believe they could be hurt for it. But again, it's a sport, and I think as the kids, win or lose, we gotta support them. But again, I think that's we gotta coaches, even people that will answer the games, they should say, listen, it's a game. Don't put kids in jeopardy. You understand? The rest of the kids for Colonia, they were sick what it was. But that's all I want to say. But again, they're kids, and that's why we got people like yourselves and everything else. And another thing, I'm glad to see, finally, we don't have all those chaos, because I said before the election, this and that. We probably could have a normal council meetings. Let's not talk about just the sports and a community center. Let's talk about what really every citizen is concerned right now. Talk to the people. They worry about the traffic. What's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? What's going to happen to crime? Nobody talks about it over here. We talk about sports. We talk about, things that doesn't concern every person in the township. But again, I'm glad that we are kind of no yelling and screaming. I think we got a good police department still here. Nobody got laid off. Nobody what you call the cut in the pay, what you call it. But let's keep it. And I don't want to say much more, but that's what I want to just say tonight. Happy holidays, and thank you.
Mr. Vitarik, just for the record, the 13 players for Colonia, that I don't know who was saying that, but that's not true. Just so you know, I think Mr. Coughlin and the mayor called that game, and Councilman Anderson was at that game. They had more than 13 players. People weren't playing both ways. So
Yeah.
I don't know who's saying that, but that's not true, Mr. Vitarik.
Not even close, John.
Well, we know that's not true. That's not true.
Councilman.
Mr. Simaluka?
Council President, with all due respects to Mr. Vitarik's comments about the ice rink has been and will be an economic driver for not only the WCC but the club. The fact that we're building a second ice rink will bring an economic driver to the entire community. Hotel rooms, restaurants, shopping malls. We can hold larger events due to having both ice rinks, and not only bringing in tournaments, which will bring in people from the entire East Coast. So our plan is put in place, and it's going to be very successful. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Anderson?
I didn't get all of Mr. Vitarik's comments, and I did not do that game. I know that the mayor and our Speaker Coughlin were announcing that game. I'm very well aware that Colonia is part of Woodbridge Township. I live in Colonia, okay? So, and I lived in Woodbridge for 20 years, so I love both sides of those towns, all right? As far as the athletes, I'm very familiar with a lot of their athletes. I'd have to go back to the videotape. Oftentimes, you do see some players play on both sides of the ball, where you might only see the linemen, because of their size, play on offense and defense. But that's the coach's decision. It's also in high school. This is high school where there is no participation requirement. So it's based on the best players that they're able to put out there to help them compete. This year, Woodbridge had Colonia's number, but next year, Colonia could turn around and put it on Woodbridge. That's the beautiful thing about their rivalry. But we enjoy calling all of the players' names, and I have the utmost confidence in Coach Rorty, Coach LaSala, and now Coach Holman over at Kennedy, that they're going to put the best players on the field that are going to be able to compete and represent their school the best way they can. And as far as the sports go, to concur with Mr. Simaluka, we also do the Senior Olympics here in Woodbridge Township. And the Senior Olympics are a great way for everyone in New Jersey to come here to New Jersey, to Central Jersey, Woodbridge Township, and as Mr. Simaluka pointed out, they stay in our hotels, they eat at our restaurants, they get a tank of gas, they go to our malls for an entire weekend. And we're hopeful that that's the same thing. We're in the beginning stage of the ice hockey rink, so please just give us a chance to let it be a success, or in your case, maybe you're hoping it fails. I'm hoping it succeeds. Thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
Good evening, James Dabrowski, Woodbridge proper. On October 29th, the openly Trump-supporting Woodbridge-based NJ State PBA shared a disgustingly deceitful post on its Facebook page. The original post, written by Port Authority police officer Will Jimeno, intentionally misdescribed the photo of a white Philadelphia cop holding a black toddler. Mr. Jimeno's caption read, "This little child was brought to a violent protest in Philadelphia and became lost. The child had to be removed from the area by the very same people the crowd was throwing bricks, debris, and even shooting at. This police officer didn't care if the child was raised to hate her. She shielded him as if her own. This is what the left wants to vilify. God bless the police officers of Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. for what they are dealing with the past few days. Hold the line and stay safe, and great job to this Philadelphia police officer for protecting this child and demonstrating what all police officers are willing to do for anyone. Sad that former VP Biden acknowledged a criminal with a knife rushing at police officers and never mentioned the great job the two police officers did in protecting themselves and others in the community. God bless all the sheepdogs, for they have and will continue to give their lives and be put in harm's way to protect the sheep, even the ungrateful sheep." Mr. Jimeno's fraudulent post has since been covered by the words, "false information checked by independent fact checkers." When you click the word CY, you are redirected to an October 30th article from the fact-checking website Lead Stories, which explains that the photo does not show a toddler lost among violent riots in Philadelphia, but a child that was pulled out of an SUV during a violent police stop. The Philadelphia Inquirer reported on the incident, which took place during the unrest that erupted after the murder of Walter Wallace Jr., a 27-year-old black man who was shot 7 times by police despite his mother's desperate pleas. The article was based on a bystander's video, which shows police surrounding and descending upon an SUV. Officers used batons to smash its windows and then pull both the driver and a passenger from the vehicle. The driver, a mother, is brutally beaten, and moments later, a terrified child is seen removed from the back seat. The mother was hospitalized and released without charge, and not reunited with her injured toddler until the next day. The Trump-supporting National Fraternal Order of Police posted a photograph of the officer holding the child, whom she and her fellow cops traumatized. Its propaganda caption read, "This child was lost during the violent riots in Philadelphia, wandering around barefoot in an area that was experiencing complete lawlessness. The only thing this Philadelphia police officer cared about in that moment was protecting this child. We are not your enemy, we are the thin blue line, and we are the only thing standing between order and anarchy." The Inquirer reached out to the FOP about its flagrantly fabricated post, but it did not respond, and the post has since been deleted. Lead Stories reached out to the Philadelphia Police Department to ask about events in the video, and in an October 30th email, a department spokesperson responded, "We are aware of the incident and it's actively being investigated by our Internal Affairs Division. Due to an active investigation, we will not be making a comment at this time." Philly police similarly declined to comment on the photograph posted by the FOP, saying they had no information. To this day, the NJ State PBA outrageously refuses to delete the shamefully false post and has deleted any comments that mention the truth, even blocking Facebook users of conscience from further reacting to or commenting under any of their content. The Woodbridge PBA Local Number 38 has also backed the defeated and disgraced Donald Trump, with a host of its members posing under a Trump 2020 flag in our Woodbridge newspaper, The Corner, a notorious photo which includes Councilman Howie Bauer in it and was placed in the paper by its editor, Councilwoman Debbie Meehan. On November 4th, the Woodbridge PBA posted a cryptic message on its Facebook page at 8:03 p.m. as it became more apparent that Joe Biden would defeat their white nationalist in chief. The message simply read, "One day many will hang their heads in shame when they realize the evil they defended and the heroes they ridiculed." Please, many will indeed hang their heads in shame when they realize they backed the vile Trump administration and attacked those of us who refuse to be good Germans and look the other way. Council President DeJesus, I remember seeing lots of brave anti-Trumpism posts on your Facebook page, but they suddenly began to disappear. And when I sent you a friend request months back, you not only declined it, but you immediately set your page to disable friend requests. I know you're not an awful Trump supporter, so when you asked me at our August 4th council meeting, why can't we support both Black Lives Matter and the police, I hope you now realize it's because the police are anti-Black Lives Matter. Charity explained this at our following August 18th meeting, and I want to reiterate that the American policing system has always been anti-black since their inception as slave patrols. You can't start an anti-black counter-movement in direct response and opposition to Black Lives Matter and not be racist. This whole toxic Blue Lives Matter police culture is disgustingly racist, and you all voted to increase their already exorbitant budget. And if you choose to yet again remain silent about this sickening plot to move the frighteningly racist Mark Repace from the WPD to the WFD, it is you who should hang your heads in shame. Maybe one day you'll realize that white supremacy you defended and the racial justice movement you stood against. And regarding that Woodbridge Colonia game, it was very inspiring to see half the Barons kneel during the anthem in protest of racial injustice. And the camera cut away, I noticed that, but kudos to the Barons.
Time's up, thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
Hello, Victoria Birch, Colonia. I wasn't planning on speaking, I was just going to attend, but I am also glad that the election is over. I am also glad that we can attend normal council meetings where we bring up issues of the town and the town's concerns, just like we have been this entire time. What everyone comes up here and talks about, specifically about the racial injustices they see in the town or the desires that they want to see a cultural shift in how willing and easy it is for our town members to participate in racism. Every time that we come up and talk about that exact topic, that is us voicing concerns about the town, which I think is what these council meetings are for. Now that the election is over, hopefully we can start focusing on not just alienating extreme political views, but focusing on how all of us who are somewhat moderate can become complacent in the white supremacist systems that we exist in. So, yeah, that's all I really had to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening?
Amber Jarrett, Woodbridge proper. I really just have a question because I'm having trouble finding information about it. I'm not sure if anyone here would be able to help, but it's my understanding that a second proposed fracked gas power plant is going to be built possibly in Keensby and that it has gotten planning board approval. And I'm just curious, one, if this is true, and two, why Woodbridge would go that route as opposed to looking into clean energy initiatives and the environmental impact on our town. Is this something that we really want to expand on? So I'm just curious. I'm having trouble finding more information, but.
Mr. Summerloco?
There's nothing of the sort that we know of. There's CPV2, but there's nothing that has fossil fuels.
Thank you.
Any other comments this evening from the public? Here, none of the comments. Can I get a motion that the public portion be closed?
Motion.
Second?
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. At this time, we'll go into our agenda sessions. Number 17 on my agenda is the Woodbridge Township Light Parade, which is taking place this Saturday, beginning at 6:15 on Main Street. The route goes as follows: New Street, Amboy Avenue, Main Street, Berry Street, Woodbridge Avenue, West Avenue, Portland Avenue, East Tappan, Turner, Portland Avenue to Rawway, Avenel Street, Route 35, Bromhall Road, Inman Avenue, Wood Avenue, New Dover Road, Semel Avenue, Plymouth Road, correct, Oak Tree Road, Green Street, Route 1 South, Menlo Park, Isabel Street, Ford Avenue, New Brunswick Avenue, Florida Grove Road, Smith Street, Route 9 North, back to Main Street. We are going to cover every single town in the township. I would ask you that come out to one of them streets to view the parade. I would please ask that you keep in mind social distancing. We're hoping that nobody holds a house parade, a house party or whatnot. We're hoping that anybody could just come out and space out with your family and friends and enjoy this light parade that's going to honor our OEM, fire, police, EMS, CERT, and Public Works. It's going to be a very nice night, according to the weatherman. So again, I hope everybody can come out and enjoy this event. That's all I have this evening. Councilman Spiller.
Thank you, Council Vice President Small. Item number one, just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, this Sunday, November 29th at 6 p.m., our Avenel's Very Merry Holiday Tree and Menorah lighting. It's a virtual watch party, obviously, with everything going on. So the only people that will be in attendance are the committee and the fire department. So you can watch it live on the Avenel Fire Department Facebook page. And then TV 35 will also be there recording it, and that'll go up on YouTube on the Woodbridge channels within a day or so. Come see Santa, his elf, the Grinch. So again, that's Sunday, this Sunday, November 29th at 6 p.m. virtually, and watch us flip the switch. Item number 5, I'd like to thank and congratulate all the teachers, advisors, and students who represent the National Junior Honor Society and the Community Service Club at Avenel Middle School. Last week, I participated in a Zoom meeting with them where they virtually presented a check from fundraising to the Special Events Coordinator of the Lust Garden Foundation, which is the largest private funder of pancreatic cancer research. Relentlessly focused on improving patient outcomes and making progress every day. The students wanted to do this in memory of Alex Trebek. Amazing, when you're talking about a bunch of middle schoolers that, the job that they do. So great job by all of them. That's all from my agenda this evening, Council Vice President. Hope everyone has a happy and safe Thanksgiving. I know like most other days it'll be different, so hopefully you can have a great holiday and be thankful. Thank you to all our emergency responders, fire, EMS, our Woodbridge Police Department, OEM, and CERT for all their tireless work. Be safe, be smart. God bless America. Thank you, Council Vice President Small.
Thank you, Councilman Spiller. Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I just have an update on our Colonia tree lighting. Usually we do it every year. We have a great turnout. There's a couple hundred, maybe 200 to 300 people. This year, of course, because of restrictions, we can't do that again with all the fun things for the kids. But we will be gathering around the tree about 6:30 just to do carols. We're encouraging residents of Colonia to come out onto the avenue. Thank God Councilman Small and Mr. Mitch put together this light parade that's going to bring a lot of smiles to the kids and to the families. And so that really is our big thing for our tree lighting this year. And we appreciate all the hard work you both put into it. I know you've put a lot of hours into it. I would just like to also thank everybody. We did a Thanksgiving food drive over the weekend, and we were able to make up 76 food baskets. That's more than we've ever made. I've never collected so many turkeys ever. Thank God for the VFW and the fire department where we were able to store all these turkeys for these families. Just thank you. Whether you brought a can of corn or vegetables, pies, turkeys, your kindness really during these tough times really matters. And a shout out to Woodbridge Police Department. 6 o'clock in the morning on Monday, they were over at ShopRite putting an additional 40 meals together. A lot of them weren't on the clock. They were volunteering their time. So thank you, Woodbridge Police Department, for what you do for our community. And thank you to ShopRite, Wegmans, and Fresh Grocers in Colonia for donating all that they've donated. Even during these challenging times when so many people and businesses are suffering, the best part of Woodbridge Township community still prevails with goodness for others. I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Be careful. God bless everybody and stay safe. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Councilwoman Meehan. Councilwoman Drum.
Thank you, Council President. Number 1, events. In lieu of the St. James Street Fair, St. James School will be having a winter holiday village, which will consist of artists, crafters, and holiday gift shops. It's a fundraiser that they do every year, and this year they couldn't do the street fair, and this is going to take place on Saturday, December 12th, from 9 to 3 in the church parking lot. And number 2 and number 3, Small Business Saturday is on November 28th. Due to the governor's revised COVID restrictions related to outdoor events, the holiday stroll had to be canceled this year. However, there will be a Woodbridge Winter Holiday Ghost Walk. Tickets must be purchased in advance by calling 908-707-2727. 2026. It is sponsored by our local businesses, Mulberry Street Restaurant, Strub Law, Lizer Orthodontics, and General Graphics. These are all small businesses that are assisting the Haunted History Productions and our Woodbridge Recreation Department to lift everyone's holiday spirits. COVID safety restrictions will be followed, and a lot of our local businesses are running Black Friday and Small Business Saturday specials, so please do your shopping and shop small. There will also be a tree lighting on Main Street at 4:30 on the 28th. This is new to Main Street. The tree is located, it's up, it's beautiful. Thank you to the DPW and the Rec Department. That would be 5:30 on Main Street. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, 5:30 on Main Street. The tree is located across the street from the Woodbridge Post Office. Number 4, the Chamber of Commerce is having an outside holiday event on December 8th from 5 to 7 at Aquila's Tree Stand. Northfield Bank is our event sponsor. If you'd like to join us, you can register on the Chamber website or call the Chamber directly. And number 14, the Woodbridge Fire Department, I'd like to thank them for their participation in the upcoming very first light parade to bring holiday joy to all the families from all of our emergency responder heroes. And I'd like to congratulate and thank also to the Grand Marshal Patrick Kenny. Number 18, the RISE program is the township's commitment to provide structured learning experiences for special education students aged 18 to 21. They learn and build upon workforce skills, and to do so, employers locally welcome these students for the 2020-2021 school year. So in the spirit of Small Business Saturday, I'd like to thank these employers for partnering with these RISE students. Advanced Auto Parts in Woodbridge, APA Hotel in Isling, CNC Towing and Auto Repair and Forwards, Chartwells, which is the school district's food services vendor, Edible Arrangements in Woodbridge, Olive Garden in Woodbridge, Pizza Hut in Hope Lawn, Retro Fitness in Woodbridge, Rising Up Garden Center in Avenel, ShopRite in Woodbridge, Walgreens in Colonia on Inman Avenue, as well as Walgreens in Colonia on St. George Avenue, Woodbridge Town Hall, Evergreen Senior and Teen Center, Mayor Max Cafe, and the school district, Woodbridge and Colonia. I wanted to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and please continue to stay safe amidst the COVID pandemic, and to all of our caring, giving, and wonderful residents that are volunteering, making donations to our food pantries, collecting toys, and making deliveries of food baskets for those in need in our community. I cannot thank you all enough for your continued efforts. I also wanted to acknowledge Amber and Matt Jarrett. They're here tonight. I did mention you at our last meeting. They had undertaken the initiative to build school desks for children in our local community. I think, if I'm wrong, you could correct me, you're up to 100 school desks that they did. Amazing. I have chills just talking about it. Amazing. With all the homeschooling, you're a school teacher and you're an architect, so I guess together it was a perfect project for you to involve our community in. I know you had a lot of volunteers, a lot of people in the community, and a lot of businesses that supported you. So while you're here, I wanted to double check thank you for all of your efforts. I really appreciate it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilwoman Drum. Councilman Spiller?
Thank you, Councilman Vice President. Just for one thing, in conjunction with the tree lighting, at the Avenel Fire Department, we're conducting a food drive for our township food pantries, also in partnership with the Interact Club from Colonia High School. So obviously the event is closed that day, but from now until December 1st, you can drop food donations off the Avenel Fire Department, 346 Avenel Street, between the hours of 8 and 4. Thank you, Council Vice President.
Thank you. Councilman Anderson?
Thank you, Council Vice President. First, I would make a few announcements for Councilman Ficarra, who was under the weather tonight. He wanted me to make mention that the Woodbridge community memberships make a perfect holiday gift for family and friends. There's an indoor pool, cardio room, strength room, and fitness classes that offer great opportunities to stay active. So stop by the Woodbridge Community Center, the guest services desk, or call 732-596-4170. The New Jersey Devils Learn to Play Hockey program for ages 5 to 9 starts December 6th, and it's $230 for the program fee for 8 sessions and it includes all necessary hockey equipment. You can contact them at wcchockey@twp.woodbridge.nj.us. And with the upcoming holiday, roller skating is closed on Thanksgiving, but it will open up again on Friday, November 27th from 12 to 3, Saturday, the 28th from 12 to 5 p.m., and Sunday also from 12 to 5 p.m. I want to forego my agenda tonight. I just want to speak about the passing of Mayor David Dinkins. New York City mayor passed away at the age of 93 last night. He was the first and only black mayor for New York City who dedicated his life to trying to improve race relations in the nation's largest city. While in office, David Dinkins expanded the affordable housing program to combat homelessness, pushed for measures to tackle HIV during the AIDS crisis, and took measures to address the city's high crime rate, which he saw a reduction toward the end of his tenure. He also expanded the NYPD during that time, and he had a program which he dubbed the Safe Streets, Safe City program. So I'd just like to ask everyone to keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers during this time, and ask that he rest in peace. I also want to wish a happy Thanksgiving. And I also wanted to mention, I had it on my notes to mention Matt and Amber. Congratulations on completing 100 desks. What I'm most impressed with is how you involved the community, and you got everyone excited about this program. While you were doing something for families, it's great when there are programs that can bring the community together, especially during this time when we have so much divide, that there's something that we can all come together on, and that's our children. So thank you very much for that. You both should be commended. And just wanted to wish everyone and I want to congratulate our athletic directors at John F. Kennedy High School, Woodbridge High School, and Colonia High School. They're about to complete their fall season, and I think there's probably no one that was under more pressure to find games and schedule when teams were finding out that they had a player that had tested positive, and at the very last second, our athletic directors were forced with finding a team for our high schools to play. It wasn't an easy task, and they had to stay in constant communication. If Councilman Ficarra was here, being a former athletic director, I think he could kind of relate to what the athletic directors were under. While last week we had a fantastic game at, and you know, it goes to say about the competition in the high school, we had a big game at Woodbridge High School between Woodbridge and Somerville, where there were two top-ranked teams in the state of New Jersey. There was a game between JFK and Colonia, which was kind of overshadowed because JFK had not won one game yet, and their program was, you know, still growing under a brand new coach. Well, the game went into overtime, and JFK pulled off their first victory. And I want to congratulate Coach Tarig Holman, who is a first-year coach at JFK, and all of his players. But on the other side of it, there was a freshman, Jaden Jones from Colonia, who ran for over 175 yards in that game, and he was recognized by the conference as Player of the Week. He was a 15-year-old kid, and he went out there and put his team on his back. They came up 1 point short, you know, we celebrate all of our players here in Woodbridge Township, and I just want to commend the athletic directors for keeping that season going. As a county superintendent of schools, you have no idea how important sports are to kids and their mental well-being at this time. It's great that we can have, I have two boys that are 14, for them to be able to participate in sports, and I canceled our football season as the president of their program. I canceled their season because I felt it was the best thing to do. But on the high school level, with many of these students in their last year, I felt I agreed with all of the schools that wanted to go forward with their season, and I commend our schools in their COVID plans. our coaches executing those plans along with their athletic director and their trainers. They did a fantastic job this year, so they all should be commended. So I would like to wish everyone a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. Let's please observe the social distancing so that we can enjoy more Thanksgivings together. And I would like to thank all of our first responders that will be out there and will not be at the tables with their families. Thank you, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Councilman Patel?
Yeah, thank you, Council President. My agenda is also in order. I would like to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and very safe Thanksgiving. Thank you, folks. That's all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Patel. Councilman Bauer?
Thank you, Council Vice President. My agenda's in order, just one announcement. 12th Annual Toys for Tots is now accepting gifts and toys. Sponsored by the Woodbridge Township Billiards Club in conjunction with the Township Police, Fire, and EMS personnel. Our goal is to provide gifts to families and children from ages 2 to 14 years old in our community. Please drop an unwrapped toy or gift in a specially designed bin in the front lobby of the Woodbridge Community Center, located at 600 Main Street in Woodbridge, from November 9th to December 11th. And just like to wish everyone a safe, healthy, and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Bauer. Mr. Mitt?
Thank you, Mr. President. My agenda is in order. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thank you. Mr. Sinaluca?
Thank you, Council Vice President. On behalf of Mayor McCormick, the administration, we'd like to wish the council and the council's family a very happy Thanksgiving, along with the residents of Woodbridge Township. Stay healthy, please. I have a few things on the agenda for tonight. Administration and Finance, we have a tax overpayment. For Planning and Development, we have a waiver application and escrow fees. For Public Works, we have a resolution refunding an overpayment of sanitary sewer connection fee. Thank you, Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. Sinaluca. Law Department?
Nothing seated, Council President.
Thank you. Before we end, I just want to wish our thoughts and prayers to President De Jesus' family on a speedy recovery. Happy Thanksgiving to all, and God bless America. We have a motion, Mr. Mitt?
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
So moved.